Hi, it's Chris with Implied Music, and this morning I picked up a new instrument from Expressive E. It's a software instrument based on the Applied Acoustic Systems physical modeling instruments. They're calling it Imagine. Well, I have had for quite a while all of those AAS instruments, chromophone, string studio, I think they call it, a few other things. There's a guitar modeling. They basically work by computationally emulating, whew, I love those two words together, the physical effects of plucking or a string or striking a membrane or a bar of some kind. You can bow things, you can blow things. All of the things that you do to make instrumental sounds are physically modeled. Well, I've always been a little underwhelmed by the AAS instruments, and they've never really made it into my template, although I enjoy messing around with them. I never felt they were expressive enough, organic enough, and I'm hoping that Imagine will make me happy in that regard. The demos that I saw on YouTube interested me. I just got it this morning. Let's take a look. Well, so here we are, and I actually just want to give you a quick tour of the instrument. It uses the model that AAS uses, that is to say, exciters, noise in this case, bowing basically, or maybe blowing, it's hard to know. And then what the instrument type is, a membranophone or maybe a tube. There's actually two instruments here. There's the Metalla pipe and the Barito VL. Whew, well, I don't know. It's a pad instrument. And you can see already we've got some modulation going on with qualities within the sound. And I've also mapped color and resonance in each two controllers that I have over here. Woo, woo, woo. It's easy to map things. There's a MIDI learn window, which allows you to click and learn a controller. Well, I'm going to close that, and let's just play a complicated chord. To my mind, it's quite lovely. I like the pulse. Since I'm an ambient composer, I always open pads first. So I'll admit that I did set that up ahead of time, although it's not the best demonstration of things. Well, here's the preset menu, and it's got 12 categories if we include users. One of the things that physical modeling does best are bells, mallets, things like that. So let's check out a few of these mallet sounds. Well, super organic, and it really sounds almost like a balafone. It's responsive to velocity in a great way. And pitch bend. Super playable instrument, really much better than the AAS equivalents. I'm ready to score a cartoon for sure. Mallet instruments are only one category, and we'll certainly be interested in what it can do with, oh man, look at all these arpeggios. Well, I'm just drawn to generative arpeggio. Let's give it a big old G minor 9 chord and see what it does with it. It looks to me like there's a a kind of a interesting running shape of the arpeggio, which I'm sure I could edit if I wanted to, as well as the individual steps in arpeggiator 1 and arpeggiator 2. Randomization is high over here and low over here on the right. I just turned it up. Clearly there are effects built in already. I see vibrato, some expressive effects, which I guess are controllable by maybe velocity and certainly by, regular controller numbers, as well as a delay and a plate reverb in this case. Let's turn them off and see what happens. Ah, that's telling. So it's hard panned left and right. And I've got to say, the raw sound is pretty cool. Oh, just out of curiosity, we should listen to a few more. But overall, my impressions of this instrument are positive with some reservations. So here's a Abyss drone. And let's just, for the sake of fun, we'll just try applying some controllers. So I'm going to MIDI learn. I'm first take note of what I might try. Like, let's have grains modulated by one controller and color modulated by another. Okay, so MIDI learn. I'm going to start the learning process. Whoop, stop learning. The same over here, learn. Nice. And then this one as well, I'm going to use a different controller. Close that and resonance and grains. Color, that's interesting. Clearly, resonance was already on that one slider. Well, let's just see what we get. Okay, so it's supposed to be an Abyss drone, so maybe just a fifth. Ooh, very dark. The grain effect is terrific. Very gritty. This is a very playable sci-fi drone, I'll put it that way. Nice. And the effects, they sound pretty good. I would want to use my own reverbs. I'm sure you would too. Okay, everybody's having fun. This is suffering from the thing that has always troubled me about the AAS instruments as well. There's, how to put it exactly? There's not enough variety between each attack, between each note, even as it spreads across the instrument. On a typical harp, say, as you change strings, each string has a slightly different quality just by the nature of physical instruments. But you hear how that's just very, very much the same every time? Maybe I'm asking for too much, but I would love velocity to change the pick quality a little bit more. So you can hear a little pitch modulation on the highest attack. Yep. Well, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about. And it would be timbre, and it would also be to some degree resonance, because every string is different. Well, we could probably spend a lot more time looking at this instrument, and I'm certainly going to spend a lot more time playing around with it. I love physical modeling instruments, and I'm very much looking forward to my Osmos keyboard coming from Espressive E very soon, I hope. That's what they say. This instrument is compatible with their physical controller, the Touche, which is a big, broad surface that allows you to use gestural controls, so pressure, forward and back, maybe tilts as well. But it's not MPE compatible yet. I have my fingers crossed on that. I'd love to try it with the Seaboard Rise. assuming the seaboard rise survives the next year. Well, I hope it's been useful to take a look at this. It's certainly a fun new instrument. New sounds are always exciting. They often inspire composing, and it keeps things bright and fresh and sparkly. Although it is a little bit of an indulgence, I'm actually pretty happy about this instrument. Well, like and subscribe, you know the drill, and I'll see you next time.